The governor made that move Tuesday, hoping to prevent more coronavirus clusters. Several have already stemmed from places of worship. KMBC 9's Michael Mahoney is in Topeka with the very latest. Michael, we just heard from the governor. Of course, this is all happening as we are in the midst of Holy Week.
Correct, Haley, and it's also just a couple hours away from the beginning of Passover just as well. This happened, as you mentioned, Haley, within the last 90 minutes here in Topeka. The governor's order limiting religious service congregations to 10 people or less, not counting the ministers nor the choir or anybody else. The Kansas House and Senate leaders met this afternoon to review that order. They have the authority to do that. State Health Director Lee Norman told the group that the order was intended to help limit the spread of the virus, like other restrictions of 10 or less people. But some leaders, including Attorney General Derek Schmidt, offering an opinion, believe it's unconstitutional restriction of freedom to gather and freedom to practice faith. Just a little while ago, as you mentioned, Haley, Governor Kelly talked to reporters about this.
I was so deeply troubled to learn that our Attorney General has decided to launch a bizarre, confusing, and overtly political attack at such a moment of tragedy, and that Republican legislative leaders have chosen to follow suit with a shockingly irresponsible decision that will put every Kansas life at risk.
Now, Kansas legislative leaders, part of the Legislative Coordinating Council, met for about 90 minutes this afternoon here in Topeka to discuss the impact of this order and what they wanted to do about it. They also brought up an incident from a KCK church where they are now saying that they believe 4 people who were at that conference died as a result of the COVID-19 disease, and that gathering was before the 10-person limitation was in place. Now, the Democrats say that the order from the governor does not restrict worship, simply the size of the gatherings. But the Kansas Senate President, Republican Susan Wagle, says that many Kansans didn't see it that way.
They just do not want the government to tell them that they can't participate in a religious function. It was a matter of who was telling them that they couldn't practice their faith. And it wasn't so much that on Sunday that they're going to change their behavior. They just do not want the government to tell them that they can't practice their faith in a social setting.
Now, Kelly said to reporters just a little while ago that she thinks this revocation of her order is going to create, in her words, quote, chaos and confusion. Kelly could order another order similar to the one that was struck down by the Legislative Coordinating Council today. She says that all options are now on the table, as she told reporters, after the legislative leadership has revoked her order limiting the attendance from congregants and congregations at religious services to 10 people just hours before Passover and days before Easter. Michael Mahoney, KMBC 9 News, Topeka.
The number of dead after a coronavirus outbreak at a KCK rehab facility has grown. 6 people have now died. Another 50 Riverbend post-acute rehabilitation patients and staff are positive for COVID-19. Health officials with Wyandotte County say 7 of the sickened residents have also been hospitalized. State health officials are now monitoring that outbreak. Missouri leaders are moving forward with the state's first alternative health facility. It's going to be in the St. Louis area in Florissant. It's in response to the need for hospital beds and medical equipment, and will start as soon as start taking patients as soon as next week. The Missouri National Guard says other facilities will open around the state if they're needed. The latest reports show coronavirus cases in Missouri stand at more than 3,300. In Kansas, the number of cases is now at more than 1,000. Wyandotte County has now passed Johnson County with the largest number of cases in the state. Of course, the epicenter in the United States, New York State, hit a record today, 779 new deaths. But there is some good news when it comes to the numbers. Some hard-hit states are starting to see the numbers drop. KMBC 9's Bree Jackson is in Washington with the latest on the efforts to confront the outbreak.
Cautious optimism coming from the epicenter of U.S. coronavirus cases.
There's no doubt that we are now bending the curve.
Signs cases are leveling off comes just one day after New York's deadliest day for coronavirus deaths. Officials warn more bad news could come in the coming days.
As those hospitalized for a longer period of time pass away.
This week that we're in right now is going to be a particularly bad week.
Top doctors say some hotspots could flatten the curve soon, while other areas, including Washington, D.C., could see cases surge. D.C. city officials are bracing for the worst.
We continue to monitor the situation, particularly as we are preparing for a medical surge.
In Iowa, the governor predicts cases will peak later this month. She's working with federal leaders to make sure hospitals and communities have resources
to provide much needed relief to Iowa workers and businesses now and to help get them through this challenging time.
Federal leaders say nationwide we could see a spike in overall cases and deaths this week. Fauci says social distancing could reduce the projected increase and urges Americans to double down.
That means that the mitigation is working, and we have to continue, as I say, to keep putting your foot on the accelerator and not on the brake.
In Washington, I'm Bree Jackson, KMBC 9 News.
And tonight, the CDC says it is considering changing its guidelines for self-isolation to make it easier for those who have been exposed to someone with coronavirus to return to work if they're asymptomatic. Under the proposed guidance, people who are exposed would be allowed back on the job if they are asymptomatic, test their temperature twice a day, and wear a face mask. The new policy is aimed in particular at workers in critical jobs. The Department of Health and Human Services now has a contract with General Motors to manufacture 30,000 ventilators for the national stockpile. The Strategic National Stockpile is set to receive the ventilators by the end of August. The production schedule allows for the delivery of more than 6,000 ventilators by June 1st. Meanwhile, Amazon says that its workers who violate social distancing guidelines could lose their jobs. The company says that it's going to fire those who fail to keep their distance after a couple of warnings. The guidelines require employees to stay 6 feet away from each other while working, but some workers say that it is often impossible to keep their jobs and keep their distance. Tonight, the FBI is getting more reports of scams because of the coronavirus pandemic. Investigative reporter Matt Fleener explains ways to keep yourself safe.
Over the past few weeks, have you received a call like this?
Dear customer, due to coronavirus outbreak, we deliver a wide range of sanitizers, hand wash, toilet papers, and face masks at your doorstep to safeguard you and your family from coronavirus.
An automated voice on your phone leading you down a path to eventually rip you off.
If you are diabetic and using insulin, we can qualify you to get a free diabetic monitor and a complimentary testing kit for coronavirus. To learn more, please press 1.
Those are two examples of scam calls the FBI is now investigating. In the past 2 weeks, the agency's received more than 1,000 tips about scams related to the coronavirus.
Right now, the scammers are preying on individuals' fears and their vulnerabilities.
FBI experts say to watch out for fake government employees at your door, fake emails from the CDC, phony links in your email as well.
We want people to be aware that these scams are happening. It may be something as easy as a misspelling in the email address. One letter is off.
It's why you want your guard on during this time of uncertainty. There are several more tips to keep you safe at fbi.gov/coronavirus. I'm sharing that on my Facebook page as well. Matt Fleener, KMBC 9 News.
As unemployment claims continue to stack up in both Kansas and Missouri, many people are still having trouble getting their benefits. Now, we spoke with Kate Williams, who was laid off from her serving job in Overland Park. She has a daughter who's almost 2 years old and hasn't had income for 3 weeks. She filed for unemployment in Kansas on March 18th and says that she still is waiting for a verification email. She hasn't been able to reach the office for help.
The website is crashing, so yesterday it just wouldn't load. On top of that, I have probably called the phone numbers probably close to 1,000 times, and that is no exaggeration. Every time you call, it's just a busy signal.
And the state, of course, reporting that their lines are overwhelmed with callers. The Kansas Department of Labor has been holding virtual town halls on Facebook every Wednesday at 3 p.m. to answer questions. Nick and Jake's has closed one of its 4 metro restaurants, the restaurant at 53rd and Main, saying in a Facebook post, recovery over the next 6 months will be slow and the restaurant closed in order to survive. Nick and Jake's has 3 other locations in Overland Park, Shawnee, and Parkville. The Shawnee location temporarily closed on March 23rd. Quilting guilds all across the metro are stepping up in a really big way to fulfill the call for masks for medical staff, as well as friends and neighbors. KMBC 9's Kelly Gibbs spoke with a member of the Olathe Guild with family on the front lines of the pandemic.
It's analogous to rolling bandages in the Civil War. Right now, off from her day job, Mary Ellen Winter hasn't had much downtime.
I've done so many of these, I'm no longer measuring them.
These past few weeks.
I have to take a break psychologically because, we're all in our houses. We aren't, anyway, it's hard. It's hard.
She spends nearly 12 hours a day, every day, here. Sewing masks for those on the front lines of this pandemic.
One of the first sets of masks I made were for my daughter, who's a family medicine resident. It horrifies me to think that we don't have enough stuff for our medical professionals who are on the front line.
A member of the Olathe Quilters Guild, Mary Ellen is just one of dozens of helping hands jumping in.
They want to feel like they're productive, they want to feel like they're helping, and this is a way to make them feel valuable in a time of crisis in our society.
Winter says right now, quilters guilds across the metro are stepping up in a big way, resulting in thousands of donations like these locally.
It's a tough time. It's a tough time for everybody. We'll get through it all. We just don't know what the timeline is. And I think that's the hardest part.
In Olathe, Kelly Gibbs.
These are what I've got.
KMBC 9 News.